Thank you, KCIW. Here we go, listeners. I know you know who I am. I know who you are. I see you out in town. It's so fun here in Brookings, Oregon. We're on the Quality Living with Peaceful Support show. I'm Amanda Whittemore, and I am your radio voice here on this all-volunteer, donation-based radio station. And here in Brookings, we do a lot of that. Volunteer, nonprofit, we support the art culture, we support those that support us in the best and most impressive ways ever. And I am so tickled and stoked and excited and exuberantly just so, I don't even have an adjective to tell you how excited I am about this guest we have with us all the way from Las Vegas. We have Kamora Jones with us, an artist that I've been watching online for so many years. And there's so much connectivity between the both of us that when Kamora was recently doing an art show, I had to drive my buddy 8 hours to show up and make sure that I could be present and say thank you for all the work that Kamora does on such a beautiful spiritual intergalactic level of artistic presence. So I want to tell you, artists and local listeners out there, you are in for a treat. Thank you, Kamora Jones, for being with us here on KCIW.
Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. I appreciate it, and I'm glad we get to share together.
Yes. This is like the coolest part about meeting you in real life is that you know how when you have somebody through the internet world, the metaphysical world, it's like your imagination, it's your thoughts, your ideas, but it's not imagination, it's real. You can see it. It's just not as physically tangible. And I'm holding a piece of your artwork in my hands right now, and I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you said it very well, right? You're talking about imagination. You're talking about collective consciousness. This idea of imagination is very important because we are souls evolving. We are currently in bodies having human experiences, but we are souls. And the whole journey of the soul is to evolve and develop and to use imagination to create, become a creator being. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Woo! This is when I wish we had video for our audio because this is like so colorful, and your expressiveness is it just explodes within me. I just am so grateful that we made this connection.
Yes, of course. We all need to share. We're all on individuated journeys. This is signing up to incarnate is a very individuated path. It's individual coursework, but we all share together. We're collecting data. We share that data through collective consciousness, through the Akashic records, and through all of our sharing, we're able to evolve collectively and individually. But it's good to understand that we need to continue evolving individually and creating and learning to become creators and learning how to liberate ourselves from the limitations that some individuals in this world try to put on us. Yeah.
Entirely. And so the most unique thing, I think, is that both of us were born physically in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, my God.
Yes, and you're there right now. You're calling in. And listeners, you can call in at any time, 541-661-4098. Someone's going to answer that phone. I don't know who. We're going to find out one day. But it's going to happen. You can also write contact@kciw.org here at Just Ask for Amanda on the Quality Living with Peaceful Support program. But Kamora Jones, tell us how from being birthed in this human body for this human experience in Las Vegas, did all this evolve, this connective cosmic greatness that you share with the world?
So according to my mom, I started drawing when I was 3. I was very serious about it. I had this understanding of the idea that creating was something very special and intimate, and that it had some power behind it that could not be limited by anyone. was this very personal thing. So I started drawing and painting. I didn't have a lot of skill, but I had the creativity. I'd make up all these stories. I was really into anime. I was really into all kinds of different stories and such. So I would draw my own stories. And then I had all these art teachers. I had some really great art teachers coming up. I didn't start getting into the skill aspect until I went to a school here called Las Vegas Academy in 11th and 12th grade, which is like a conservatory, arts conservatory, where I got a lot of my academic art training. The beginning of it is, if you will. I was indoctrinated into the Christian church in my early teens. That was my sort of inception into spiritual thinking. And I got what drew me was not the doctrine itself, but this metaphysical or mystical aspects of Christianity, like Ezekiel's vision of the cherubim and Isaiah's vision of the seraphim, and like the way that spiritual concepts are presented, like in the Paul's revelation, right, and basically the creatures that stand around the throne and the various ways in which scripture is presented. So it was the mystical aspects that drew me. So I started drawing all this, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and as I got a little older, and I got and my spouse and I got married, we decided to leave the church and go on a very sort of authentic path of finding ourselves. And in about 2016, I got very much into the study of metaphysics through books like Journey of Souls by Michael Newton and Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley. I felt a calling to find myself apart from the the ways of Christianity or the ways of sort of established religion. And so I was opened up to this idea. I started using cannabis edibles as sort of a means by which to open the door of perception for myself. And through that, I was able to find connections with higher intelligence in a way that spoke to me. And so that's kind of how the transmigration theory started, is that come home, I would sit and get into a sacred space and I would start drawing. And as I was drawing these ideas regarding the energy body, astral projection, the chakras, higher intelligences started to come to me. And I started building this structure, this ongoing nonlinear structure of ideas in the form of a type of nonlinear story that I'd never seen before. And that's how it
Mm.
came to be.
Holy goodness. That's a lot of studying and devotion and practice and drive to stay in the path of creativity and constantly evolving.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I think, there isn't enough said about aptitude. I don't really hear that word talked about a lot nowadays. Maybe it's sort of old fashioned. Um, I'm not young anymore, but aptitude is very important. What you're born with, what you have an affinity for from a talent or skill standpoint. I think it's important that people foster that, because in that, you're going to have these downloads and uploads that are sort of development cues for how to go about your life and what you can invest your space and time in so that you can create something, so that you can do the work you came here to do, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm. That is so beautiful. That is so well said. And that's my most favorite part about your art is that it's visual, but it's like inner cosmic. You have so many talented words that explain situations that would be something that each of us could connect individually, however, as an entire collective consciousness together at the same time. It's so unique and well designed that I just thank you.
Well, you know what's interesting about the transmigration style is that as I was developing the style, I started noticing a lot of people creating a lot of really cool metaphysical psychedelic work. A lot of people look at my work and they're like, "Oh, were you inspired by Alex Gray?" Not really, not really. There's another artist called Ariel Ali. He's like an intergalactic artist. He's been doing stuff since like I think like the 90s or the 2000s, or early 2000s. I was very much inspired by him when I was still in the church. And so I'm saying all this to say that you invest your time in a skill set.
Mhm.
And as you become more intimately involved in the skill set, and just even in just the skill, academic skill, professional aspect. And then if you have some belief system, you have some belief structure, you can start to understand life through that skill set. And so working in a corporate game development studio for the last 19 years, I learned a lot about design. I learned about design, about illustration, concept art, design as it relates to color theory.
Mm.
So this whole path and my early spiritual training in Christianity, and then moving more into the metaphysical concepts, the more expanded understanding of spiritual concepts, I was able to, through all the skill, through all the study, it's like I was primed to start receiving those downloads, to create a new style, to connect with these guides or beings I'm connecting with, in order to create a type of visual language that can channel information into people by them just sitting in front of the piece as if the piece
Mhm.
itself is like a type of portal. Yeah.
So true. So true. That's exactly correct.
So the pieces themselves are like secret spaces. My desire for the series itself is about higher consciousness. These beings, which I call transmigrators, they are higher intelligence. They are like aliens from another dimension who have figured out how collective consciousness works. The light code that you see in the pieces, that's like the programming language of our simulation that we're in. So the way to explain that is that if God created a simulation, what would the programming language be? Every program has a programming language or a structure or a logic. So they've figured out a way to work with these. And so the illustrative sort of point of the series is to talk about, well, what if we were more advanced? Well, the soul is an advanced organism of higher consciousness. It is connected to all these things. But when we come into a human body, the brain is a filtering mechanism and it keeps us into this biological situation. But we don't have to be locked into that. We can have OBEs, we can practice astral projection, we can play with different means of going beyond the body to reconnect with who we really are. And I think you don't have to do that just through like psychedelics. You can do it in many ways, like through art, through channeling, through deep meditation, in many ways. Yes.
Absolutely. Entirely. Do where so geez. It's so profound and yet it's like to me it's like everything and nothing. It's like so simple but it's so profound and it's so when you say it it's like of course obviously but it's like so deep.
Well, think about it. I mean, we are indoctrinated into, we are Americans, right? So we're indoctrinated into the system of capitalism. We are told from a very young age, if we go to the standard, public school system, even if, you go to a private school, that we are to get in line and to learn information, to memorize information, to be good at memorizing information and then testing on it.
Hmm.
And we're told to, yes, that they want us to be sort of have some nuance with it. They want us to be able to use it and to understand it. But there's this getting in line that has to do with training an individual to live in society in this material, this heavy, dense material realm. And that is the human experience for most people.
Hmm.
But it should be understood that you are a soul. You are not a body. You're using a body to have a human experience.
Like as a vessel. I tell honestly
Yeah.
if you've ever taken
Yeah.
my yoga class out there listeners, I say well, guys, we are in our personal individual spaceships.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes that's how I feel, It's like these, especially like moving the bodies and different things and like the purpose and like, well maintaining it, caring for our mind and our body. It's like caring for our vehicle and it is a vehicle.
Yes. And think about this too, right? I mean, think about, something like astral projection, right?
Oh yeah.
You have a light body. So, if you look at some of my pieces and you read some of the writings, I talk a lot about the soul mind. That's my way of describing the connection between the soul and the mind. The mind is not necessarily the soul. The mind is a expression or a projection of the combination between the brain and the soul. And you have an energy body that is a facilitation between the soul and the body. So when you step out of your body, you're connected through this cord. You have this, you have all these different structures and layers that afford you the ability to not only just remember who you are, to live authentically. And then you have things like authenticity, like identity and expression, which as an LGBTQ plus person, I found that even a lot of spiritual people get so mad about that. But it must be understood that you are having this experience that is a creative experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're choosing to be very sort of politically divisive within your experience, you're missing the point. Nature itself is so diverse. The universe is so extremely diverse. And if you can't see that, you're missing a huge part of this thing we call God or Brahman or karma or whatever you want to call it. That it is this, I'm not going to say wild per se, but it is unlimited in its creative expression. There are no boundaries when it comes to something like a creator being like God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Vedas are very, very prominent on exactly everything that you've just said. And
Yeah.
that's the furthest we can go back is for the Ayurvedic, the science of knowledge of life.
Yeah.
That's as far as we got. As far as
Yeah.
records go.
So when you think about, the gods, right? And you think about the fact that these gods are associated with different planets. They have different planets, they're in different places, they're different locations. There's this idea, especially in the Gita, this idea of where are you going? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Right? Where are you headed?
Mm-hmm.
You will have the experience that you desire to have. You will connect with what you desire to connect with. If you desire to have an experience amongst those who are divisive and angry, you will find your soul in that place. You will find your soul. It's, people have those experiences that are very, tumultuous, hellish experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you desire to be peaceful and amongst the creatives of the universe, you will find yourself in a creative abode. You will find yourself in that place at some point. Or if you find a way to go there through astral projection or otherwise, you will go there. And so I think it's important, this idea that creativity is the highest and that limitation is the lowest. Um, that in a sense you are
Mm-hmm.
becoming a god in a sense. And that doesn't mean that when people like us say that, it doesn't mean that we think of ourselves as better than other people or that we think of ourselves as superior or above the law. It just means that that is the path of the soul. When I look at war on this planet, I look at the history of the human civilization, the history of conquest. It's conquest. It's this battling for a few morsels of things, this battling for fossil fuels, this battling for things that everyone actually has access to.
Mm-hmm.
And people who continue to vote these underdeveloped souls into positions of leadership. Think about that.
Dang.
So,
It's
so these
so true.
so these transmigrators are a representation of higher consciousness, and it's like we're along for the ride with them as they study and research this collective consciousness data, this collective consciousness technology that God created. That's what the series is about. Yeah.
I'm so with it. I mean, a gazillion percent, absolutely. And I really, really look forward to sharing this. Like I envision you at Envision in Costa Rica. I envision you at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and even here in Brookings, Oregon, at the Manly Arts Center.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just doing my work and growing as much as I can. But those that I think that the show that I just had in Nevada City, it's like Carly. When we started the show months and months ago. Carly just like messaged me out of the blue, DM me, and she's like, "Hey, are you local?" I'm like, "Absolutely not local. I'm like 8 hours away from you."
Right?
And she's like, "You need to bring your art here." And I'm like, "Oh my God, can we do that?" And then my spouse is like, "Yes, absolutely, we could do that." So you have to go when you're called. You have to be willing to go and to be brave and to be fearless. And, you have something to offer, whatever it is you're doing. You have something to offer. And how will you cultivate that? How will you live your life? How will you expand and express your creative voice within the world? This, this call for not only just unity, but this walk and path for your development, for your enlightenment. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to push that on replay. That is really such good wisdom and connectivity. And I feel that I'm so glad we're broadcasting this globally and, of course, locally in Curry County. But then we have this link. We're putting this everywhere. Like, I'm so grateful for this moment and this radio station.
Yes, I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for the radio station, and I'm grateful that I'm always learning. I don't know everything. I know a couple things, and so I think it's always important to remain humble. But if you know something, share it, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing right here on the Quality Living Show with
Yep.
Kamora Jones, the phenomenal How would you exactly call, if you had to call your work, how would you call it?
It's metaphysical art or metaphysical expressionism
Okay.
or yeah, metaphysical conceptualization. Yeah.
And how can our listeners find you? Where is the best place to direct them to get to see what we're talking about?
So most people view my artwork and my writings on Instagram or Facebook at ArtSoldier77. I also updated my website, so it is live now, artsoldier77.com. And I have some cool things on the way. I just got the first couple sets of the Oracle deck in my
Oh,
studio right here. So I'm going to be launching everything to the public in a few weeks. I've got a little bit of work to do to get everything ready to go, but I have the limited edition sets. And so keep a lookout, keep your eyes open, but definitely check me out on Instagram or Facebook at ArtSoldier77 or check out the website, which is very much a work in progress, ArtSoldier77.com.
I love it. I love it. And so there's one little thing we ask our guests on the Quality Living Show is what does the word, how would you define the word quality?
Quality has to do with authenticity combined with work.
Oh, I like
So
that.
quality comes from work that's done and the results of said work. You don't get quality without putting in work. You don't get quality without setting things up and making sure everything is ready to go. You don't get quality without skill and time and space and intimacy with your work and sitting and enjoying the process of creating a beautiful meal, a beautiful painting, a beautiful writing, a beautiful piece of music. Quality is work. It is authenticity in work.
Oh, yes. And this is, I think, our 116th show, and we've never heard a repeated answer. This is a brand new one, and I love it. Yes. And so realistically, I know I'm a pretty big dreamer and, for whatever reason, seeing you through the internet, I never thought I would actually physically meet you for some reason. I don't know why. But then when I saw that you were in Northern California, I'm like, let's do this. And then once I met you, I'm like, well, how do we share you with other people? So I really want to extend the invitation to you to show up in Brookings, Oregon, and present your work. I mean, we even have this place called Gypsies that is they have tons of oracle decks, and it's a phenomenal place. We have many art galleries, and I feel that our local artists, it's such an art town. How would you describe it? Yeah, we have like art on the port right now, coastal art shows. We have film festivals. We have so many different mediums of art in this cute little coastal town. That'd be so fun to have you here.
Well, you said coastal, so I'm already on board. I love the water. I love nature. Also, you and I discussed maybe possibly next summer, maybe 2027, maybe having some kind of art show, figuring out how to make it work.
Okay.
And so yeah, I'm in a space of a paradigm of expansion. I'm trying to grow more. I'm trying to believe in the work I'm doing more. I am merely a human. I'm very accessible if you can get a hold of me.
Love it.
not not a person on a high throne or in a high castle or anything. I am a person who is very aware of the spiritual reality, and I want to share that with others, that your creativity is is powerful, and that it's a connection directly back to who you are, your authentic self beyond these limited bodies we have. Yeah.
That is so nice. That is so good. Well, yes, we're gonna keep at this goal, and I look forward to showing and everyone. Kamora says that you can find Art Soldier 77.
Yes, correct. Yes. So artsoldier77.com or Art Soldier, it's at artsoldier77 at Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love this, and I'm super glad. And I have this piece here, and did I mention to you what I mean? I have a couple seconds. I'm gonna try to fit it in. I would love to blow this up on a big piece of sheet metal, like a middle print. You know,
Uh-huh.
the drawing that you did for me in person that I had no idea was gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and
It's I mean, hey, do what you got to do, get creative with it. And I would love to see it. I'm always creating. It's just so you guys know that the drawing the pieces is about connecting to a channel. Ram Dass talks a lot about connecting to the channel that you're connected to get the downloads that you need to do the work you're trying to do. So I encourage you to connect with your channel, and whatever way you can be creative, do that and find yourself through your creative path.
yes, I love it. Thank you, Kamora Jones. This is so phenomenal. Thank you, listeners. KCIW. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.